1. The Stone Age, the dawn of survival.
Before armies and empires, humanity relied on one thing: stone.
With no factories or armor, humans had to innovate to survive.
Tool evolution: stones transitioned from random objects picked off the ground into deliberately shaped and sharpened tools, hand axes, sharp flakes. The spear, an ingenious concept, it removed the need for direct physical confrontation, providing enough distance for hunting and defense.
Bow and arrow
Took warfare to a new level. Physical strength was no longer the sole standard, accuracy, composure, and training became vital. It established a recurring theme in history: the most powerful weapon is the one that allows you to strike before danger reaches you.
2. The Bronze Age, weaponry as industry in balance.
Warfare evolved from using found objects to consciously crafted weapons. Material: bronze, copper plus tin, provided a stronger, more malleable material.
Composite bow.
Made from wood, horn, and sinew, it offered greater range and power, posing a major threat to infantry when combined with horsemen. The sword evolved from a simple blade into a status symbol, notably the Egyptian sickle sword, khopesh, designed for striking, hooking, and control. The chariot, a revolution in mobility. Light and horse-drawn, it moved warfare from slow-moving lines to speed, flanking, and multi-angle attacks.
3.
The Middle Ages, the race of protection and penetration. A battle between armor and the weapons designed to pierce it.
English longbow, simple but devastating.
Used at the Battle of Agincourt, 1415, it decimated knights through sheer volume, training, and terrain tactics, muddy fields. Siege engines, catapults, trebuchets, and ballistae were used to shatter the fortresses that once offered safety. Greek fire, used by the Byzantines at sea, it was notoriously difficult to extinguish, posing a threat far beyond traditional arrows or impact.
4. The Gunpowder Age, the end of fortress supremacy.
This era began with a small, black powder from China.
Fire lance, the primitive ancestor of firearms, a tube firing flames and debris. Cannons forced engineers to redesign fortifications to be thicker and lower to withstand destructive force. Firearms, arquebus and musket transformed the soldier's role.
Years of training were no longer required, discipline and numbers became paramount. War became a managed machine rather than a showcase of individual heroism.
5. The Industrial Age, war as factory power.
In the 19th century, industry integrated into warfare, changing everything. Technologies, railways, transporting troops and supplies, telegraphs, speed of command, rifled muskets, accuracy and range, and heavy artillery. Evolution of armies: war was no longer just army versus army, but entire nations in motion, factories, ports, trains.
Impact.
This era was the bridge that paved the way for the First World War.
6.
World War I, the clash of technology and tradition.
Armies entered the war with an outdated mindset, valor and banners, only to collide with new machinery.
Trenches and barbed wire made direct advancement impossible and costly. Artillery and machine guns created a long, lethal stalemate. Poison gas added a new layer of terror. The threat was no longer just what you could see, but the very air you breathed.
World War II, total war and the atom.
Aviation made the skies a battlefield, targeting everything: cities, factories, and supply lines.
Firebombing, as seen in Tokyo, proved that strategic impact extends far beyond military front lines.
Atomic bomb, 1945 in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the world realized that a single weapon could annihilate an entire city, fundamentally changing the concept of war.
8.
The Cold War, terror as guarantee.
Deterrence.
The race between the US and the USSR was not about using weapons, but possessing them as a message of deterrence. Tsar Bomba, the most powerful nuclear device in history, was a political and military message that destructive power had reached a catastrophic level for all. Balance of fear: intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, and nuclear submarines made any major escalation lead to uncontrollable consequences. Every time humanity develops a way to protect itself, it finds itself chasing power beyond its ability to control.